2 days ago, I traded SGOC during my live stream, and it was a very interesting trade. In today's video, I'm going to share what I was thinking when I was trading, and in addition, I'll be talking about a few other stocks that I think is going to be very volatile for the next few days, and I'm also going to be talking about my strategies to approach these very volatile stocks. Now let's look at the chart. Let's look at SGOC. This is the 5-minute chart, and right now it's trading around $10.35, and I think it has resistance around this $11.90. So if it breaks that $11 pre-market, I am going to long. But if it opens around that area, I'm going to take a close look at it. So that's my trading strategy later. But now let's look at 2 days ago, which is right here. It had a huge rally, and it was very sharp. It was very quick as well. So let me turn off my chart, and now it's 5 minutes right here. I'm going to switch it to 1 minute. This is the moment that when I was trading it, it opened from $17 all the way around like $20. So at that moment, the volume, it was insane. It was insane. So, and it was going from around $9.60-80. It went straight all the way up to $20. So I know that there are a lot of buyers, and it halted. Just right after that, it had a volatility halt, and at that moment, the volume was really, actually I was looking at the 30, I was trading on interactive brokers, so I have a 30-second view, so I was looking at a 30-second view, and both candles, they are very optimistic, and I took that opportunity. So basically I long around this area, and right after it opened from the halt, I think I got in around $20.22. Yeah, so I talked about it. If you want to check the exact price, you can go back to my live stream, and you can see my reaction when it happened. So it was very quick. There's another minute. Right after I got in, it had a huge candle, huge volume. It went up. There weren't any like selling or any resistance that's the moment. That's the moment how I felt. But it halted again, but this time the volume is nice, but not as much as a couple of 1 minute before. Actually halted for 10 minutes. So it was technically it was like 10 minutes ago. But at that time, I felt something was kind of like, happy, but I was very nervous because it had another huge uptick. So at that moment, I knew that I had a huge win right there, and I am not going to make this winning trade a losing trade. It's good and bad. I will explain. So at that moment, it went from $23 all the way to $25. And at that moment, when it was around $24.50-ish, I sold half of my position. And I also said in my live stream that I am going to have a trading stop. If it goes below $21, I am out. So I took some profit around that area. Then after a few minutes, I think it had another halt right there. So that's the time I felt something is not right. Something was definitely, the sellers, maybe everybody was thinking about taking profit because it was a very parabolic move. That's just like too quick. And I was a little bit worried at that moment. So I took profit twice. I took profit around that $24.50 level, and I took another half, which is 75% out, around 28.90, 23 level. I took another half, which is 75%, and I still had another 25% of my position. And at that time, I knew I was definitely in the money. Hopefully, I was hoping that it would rally. Maybe it was just like a correction. But I think I was ticked out around $21, but I think I got ticked out around $20.90, around there. So at that moment, I was still winning because I took profits for 75% of my share and of my position. And at that time, I knew I was in the money for sure, and it would be a very bad trade for me to keep on holding that. To not hold that. Actually, I still want to have my 25% to run as much as I can, but somehow it opened like very low. It opened around $20.46, and it went all the way down to $18.16. So at that moment, I kind of lost my confidence, but I was in the money, so that's not a problem. And after a while, I never went back in. But if you see right here, actually it had another rally. It slowly, but it was going up right there. So it went from $18 all the way to $29. But at that time, actually it was a little bit more stable than before, but I wasn't really confident. So I never went back in to trade anymore. Around this $29, after that, the market started to go down. This stock, not the market, but this stock, SGOC, started going down. And it went all the way to $17. Then it closed around $20. So that was my trading strategy and what I was thinking. So basically, in the beginning, I was in the money, so I want to lock in profits, and that move was very, very fast. So I had to react very quickly as well, and I did that. That's something that I think I did right. But what I did wrong, I think, was that I didn't go back in. I made some money. I think I should have tried. I should have given it another chance. I should have tried to go back to have another trade. And if I had done that, I would have made money. I would have made money because the rally was very nice and it went all the way up to $29, but I didn't go in. So, but that's the trade I took 2 days ago doing my live stream. So what I did right was that I traded very quickly, and I made some profit, and I locked in the profit. And there's one thing I think is very important, because I always have a stop loss right there. So right here, even though it rallied afterwards, but my stop loss triggered right there, and I think I did the right thing. Even though I could have made more money with that 25% if I let it just run and run, but my trading stop right there, it was a very good move, I think, because if I didn't have that trading stop, actually, it would go all the way down to $20, and I would have given my profit back. Probably, maybe not as much because it was only 25%, but I would still give back some of my profit right there. But at that time, instead of getting out around 20, 80 or 21 area, I would have I would give out like $1 more for even just for that 25%. So another thing I would like to talk about today is another stock which it was a losing trade, but my trailing stop really helped, and it was on the same day. This was my winning stock, and also I traded space right there at the open, and my size was a little bit smaller because I knew that a space would would move a little bit bigger. Of course, the price is a little bit more expensive, so my size was a little bit smaller, but I got in space at the open, and in my live stream, it was just not going the way that I wanted to, and it was going down and down. I think I got out around like $46 or $47. I'm not sure. I had my stop, I had my trading stop, but I was out of it. And if I didn't put that trailing stop right there, I would have lost a lot of money right there. And during my live stream, I had some people there. They were asking me what happened to space and why, the good news, why it was trading down. Sometimes people they trade, they buy on rumor and they sell on news. So probably that's what happened. And I was hoping that you could have another rally because of the good news, but no, obviously it was going down. So look at this. I was trading at the open, and it was going down. It was going down around the, I got around like 46, 48 between there, and I have to go back to see my exact moment when I got ticked out. I didn't really go back because obviously it was not a good trade. I don't really want to look at it, but I'm happy that I got out because after that, I look at it. Here we go, 45, bam, got a $41, then bam, got like $40 and $37. I could not take that, and now it's trading around $37.76, which is not good, Now it's trading around $37.55. I'm not sure how I'm going to approach this one. I would have to see the volume today and to see where I should enter. So that's my strategy for space, which is no strategy. I have to see it first. But whereas SGOC today, here we go. If it goes above that $10.50, $11, I would try to give another go long, but probably my position is going to be very small and not as much as before. But I'm going to have to see the volume when it opens, so it really depends on how I want to do this. That's that one. So both of these two trades that I made, these two trades, the trading stop really helped me. And that's why I think it's very important that when you're trading, you always have to have a trailing stop. So the next example is another trade I did yesterday, OSAT, and it was insane. It was huge. But this stock I didn't trade very well because I was winning. It was a winning trade that I traded, lost. So right here, it opened high and I got in half of my position, a little bit less than half, but I got in right there, and it didn't go. It did not go. It had a huge rejection right there, but I added more shares. I doubled down my original size. It wasn't really going, but I see there's like a wick down there. I thought buyers were coming in, which I was right. I was definitely right there, and buyers started coming in. So I started making money around $13.05 around there because I kind of doubled down right here. So it was going in, but I had a halt. It had a halt right there from 9:37 all the way to 9:42. Had a 5-minute halt, and it opened higher. Then I didn't sell it. I didn't take my profit there because I was hoping that it could go up more. But I didn't take profit, but I still had my trading stop. I think I got ticked out around $13 or so. So initially I got in around $13.60, $13.65, or then I averaged in around 12. I think it was $12.50 or something like that. Then it went up all the way to $14.85. I did not take any profit. It's kind of different from what I was trading from SGOC. So I knew, I just told you this a minute earlier that I should take some profit when you have these kind of moves, but I didn't take profit that time. But what saved me was my trailing stop. I always have a trailing stop. I always have a stop loss, and it ticked me out. So at that time, I lost a little bit of money, but I didn't lose too much. And if you just look at this, if I didn't have that trailing stop, it would go south, really, really, really crazy. Yesterday closed around 9:35, and it's just not something I want to see. So trading stop, you really helped. So this is something I would like to share with my viewers, that always have a stop loss because it's very important. So OSAT yesterday, I traded wrong. I didn't do it very well, but I did a very good trade on XELA. So yesterday I was kind of even. I made a little bit money, but I think my size on OSAT was a little bit bigger than my XELA, because this one is $4 and OSAT is $14. So at the time I didn't really add more size to my XELA. But right here also, on this one, I also had a trailing stop, but I closed my position around $5 because the reason I was thinking is this. I got in around this breakout right here. So basically I had a rally and I had a short of like a very short correction right there, and I had a breakout. And the volume, I saw the volume right there. This is indication that I need to get in. I got in around $4, a little bit less than $4. I got in and I let it run. I let it run and run and run. Right here, I was a little bit worried. It almost touched my stop loss, but it didn't trigger my stop loss. So I let it rally and rally, and around this area, actually around this area right here, when it was like kind of like making these candles and making these trying to break that $5. So at that moment, my thinking was $5 was a psychological level. I got around $4.92 or 93 cents around there. And it kind of went down a little bit more, then it went back up all the way to $9.45. When I was looking at it, I thought, oh, maybe I was wrong. I wanted to get back in. I didn't. It's something just like basically the volume, it was still kind of nice, but I still thought that the $5 was a psychological level, so I didn't go back in. And I was right. So it reached this high of $5.45, and then it was going down a little bit, and it was kind of like consolidating, and it was sort of trading around this channel right there. It was like going up and down, and it wasn't really going anywhere. Maybe right here, if I was more adventurous, actually, this would be my entry point right there. I thought about it. But I was more conservative, and I was still looking at the volume, and this would be a good entry for me, or even this one. But right here, it was kind of dangerous. It didn't really go. I was thinking about going back in, but it didn't. And obviously, I dodged a bullet. It was going south from that point on. So now it's trading, it closed around like $4.30. And now it's trading a little bit higher. Now it's trading around $5. So this is going to be a very interesting trade today. So I'll share more videos with you guys, and I would trade them live, and I would do analysis afterwards, and I'm gonna tell you exactly what's going on. So that's pretty much it for today. Okay, so if you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe. And this is Grant. Trade and invest responsibly.